Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Palo Alto, where we come to transform ourselves and each other and the world. Let's take a few moments to just unmute ourselves so we can hear one another say hello.
Morning.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning, everybody. Nice to be with you.
Good morning, this is Greg.
Hi, everybody.
This is Dick and Glenda.
Hi, Dick and Glenda.
Howdy.
Hello. Veronica's here.
Yes, Veronica, but where's your cat?
He's here too.
Oh, good.
Veronica, you're welcome, even if Hal can't be here. Oh, it's always so good just to remember everybody's out there. Coming in, thank you. If your wish is, if you wish to be in a hosted conversation about UUCPA and you haven't received an invitation by the end of the week, please let the stewardship team know. They are at stewardship@uucpa.org. These are a great chance to connect with others and share what matters to us, because we know that's why we give generously. And please enjoy the beautiful brochure and send in your pledge for next year to fill this garden with blossoms.
Good morning, everyone. I am Bill Hilton. Joining me is Leor Milgram Gardner, Northern California Director of California Interfaith Power and Light, UUCPA's Justice Partner for February.
Good morning, everybody.
We will begin with a few lines from Amanda Gorman's poem, Earthrise. Yes, the same amazing poet we heard at President Biden's inauguration last month, where despite disparities, we all care to protect this world, this riddled blue marble, this little true marvel, to muster the verve and the nerve to see how we can serve our planet.
You don't need to be a politician to make it your mission to conserve, to protect, to preserve that one and only home that is ours, to use your unique power to give next generations the planet they deserve.
Well, I know that CIPL has engaged in many varied initiatives to combat climate change. Leor, please tell us about two of the more important ones.
Since our founding 20 years ago, we have helped houses of worship of all faiths in every corner of the state install solar, from Bayview Hunters Point in San Francisco to an off-the-grid Buddhist Zen center to a bilingual Catholic church in Stockton.
And the second kind of initiative?
Our advocacy work mobilizes people of faith and conscience from across California to call for climate justice legislation. We run advocate trainings and bring community members to Sacramento. During shelter in place, we adapted and held meetings over phone and Zoom.
As you know, UUCPA has installed quite a lot of solar capacity. In the past couple of months, our board has also adopted a carbon neutral policy and agreed to have 19 EV chargers installed along the exit driveway. So I urge all of you to donate generously to CIPL. Your donation will support their work, our shared values, and the world. Thank you very much. And thank you, Leor, for sharing California Interfaith Power and Light with our congregation.
And now, let us begin our service. we light our chalice with words from the Reverend Diana McLean. We come this day angry, heartbroken, despairing, unsure of our path forward, having seen our belief in the democratic process, one of the cornerstones of our faith, shaken by the actions of those elected to lead us. We come this day seeking comfort in this hour of music, of prayer, of prophetic witness, of beloved community. We come this day grounded in our commitment to side with love. We come this day asking what that means today and tomorrow and in the days to come. We come this day seeking to replace the voices of hatred blaring from TVs as we watched on January 6th and again all this past week, with the voices of those who have long been at the margins of our society and who are most threatened by the maiming of our democracy. May we, this day, find solace for our aching hearts and strength for our weary spirits, so that we may do the work our faith, our nation, and our world need us to do. Come, let us worship together. With our centering words each week, we draw on the many sources of our living tradition. Today's words are from writer Rebecca Solnit. Other eras and cultures often asked other questions than the ones we ask now. What is the most meaningful thing you can do with your life? What is your contribution to your world or your community? Do you live according to your principles? What will your legacy be? What does your life mean? Maybe our obsession with happiness is a way not to ask those other questions, a way to ignore how spacious our lives can be, how effective our work can be, and how far-reaching our love can be. As we follow the sound of the bell into silence, let us become centered and fully present in this place together. Please join in as our singers lead us in meditation on breathing.
Hi, we're going to do the meditation on breathing, and this piece is a round, so it has 3 different lines. You can choose any of them to sing that you wish, or you can switch between them. There's a main melody, and we're going to teach that to you now, and it sounds like this.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
Now that we've learned the main melody, we can learn the counter melody. This one sits a little bit higher in the voice, but it might be a little bit more fun to sing. Here we go.
breathe out, I'll breathe out love. While I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. While I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
And finally, now that we've learned the main melody and the counter melody, we can learn what is perhaps the easiest, most meditative part of the song that is referred to in the hymnal as a drone. Don't let the unfortunate title scare you off. It's a beautiful part. It just provides the background to everything else that's going on in the melody and the counter melody. It's just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and it sounds like this.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Now that we've learned all three parts of the piece, we're going to do the entire thing together. We're going to repeat it 5 times. So feel free to take whatever part feels good to you. Feel free to switch in the middle if you want to move to a different line. If you have more than one person in your household, we encourage you to each take a different line and let the full meditative effect of the piece wash over you. Here we go.
We now turn our thoughts to the important events of our lives which we wish this community to share. If you have a joy or a sorrow you would like me to speak this morning, please send your joys and sorrows to joyconcern@uucpa.org or post them in the chat box provided by Zoom, and they will be shared aloud. I have a few things to share myself. With gratitude that we are seeing fewer new cases and deaths, we also want to take note of the toll of COVID-19 by hearing the story of just one person in our country who has recently died. Joshua Goodart of Oxford, Connecticut, died last week at the age of 22. He was cautious due to family members' vulnerability, but still fell ill over winter break, as did other family members. He was to have graduated from the University of New Haven this spring. He leaves his parents, younger brother, and numerous neighbors and friends who treasured his fun, adventurous spirit and how hardworking and cheerful he was. Josh had planned to stay in his home state and work in the field of cybersecurity, his college major. In happier news, we have somebody here who has a big birthday today. Will you please sing along with Bruce and the crew in wishing Richard Castle a very happy 80th birthday?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Richard. Happy birthday to you.
Let us take some time to hold the joys and sorrows we have heard with gratitude for this intertwined life that we share, with hope and trust that we can help one another through times of sorrow, with the knowledge that even though we are all in different places in our lives at any given moment, we can bring whatever is happening to us to this community and know that it will be met with celebration for our celebrations and support for our sorrows. Let's take some silent time. Blessed be. Please join in as Bruce leads us in singing Hine Matov.
And how pleasant for people to dwell together. How good it is and how pleasant for people to dwell together. Good and pleasant, people in peace together. Good and pleasant, people in peace together. How good it is and how pleasant how pleasant for people to dwell together. We've cleared off the table, leftovers saved, washed the dishes and put them away. I told you a story, tucked you in tight at the end of your knockabout day. As the moon sets its sails to carry you to sleep over the midnight sea, I will sing you a song no one sang to me. May it keep you good company. Oh, you can be anybody you want to be. You can love whoever you will. You can travel any country where your heart beats, and know that I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose one special one, and the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you'll be behind when you're done. There are girls who grow up strong and bold. There are boys quiet and kind. Some race on ahead, some follow behind. Some go in their own way and time. Some women love women, some men love men. Some raise children, some never do. You can dream all the day, never reaching the end of everything possible for you. Don't be rattled by names, by don'ts, by games, but seek out spirits true. If you give your friends the best part of yourself, they'll give the same back to you. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whoever you will. You can travel any country where your heart beats, and know that I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose one special one, and the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you'll be behind when you're done. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're
There are some who say Valentine's Day is a holiday to celebrate one of our deepest expressions of love. a romantic bond between two people that will last their entire lives. And then there's the idea that it's the pinnacle of consumer capitalism. Love schmov. It's florist Black Friday, the day when they sell so many bouquets that they can be in the red for the rest of the year and still pay the rent. Chocolatiers, greeting card manufacturers, and producers of sappy made-for-television movies need it. So say other people. Well, with all respect, none of them have the full picture. But after today, you will. In reality, this day is about wolves running through the streets naked, a real-world place called Narnia, converting someone to Christianity by restoring his daughter's eyesight, getting your head chopped off, and a very long meeting with lots of kinds of birds. You heard it here first. In Rome, each February 13th through 15th, the festival of Lupercalia was celebrated to purge the city of illness and hostile spirits and to increase the fertility of its people. The priesthood in charge was called the Luperci, from the root for wolf, and consisted of two groups of men in their 20s and 30s. Like so many groups, it sounds kind of like a modern-day fraternity. After overseeing the ritual, they used the skin of the goats just sacrificed to make thongs. I could not discover what that means in the original context. Sandals? Underwear? But apparently not, as you'll see in a moment. Just a strip of hide. That is one definition of thong. They're used for slingshots. In any case, now that they've completed the solemn part of the festival, they get to the fun part. Plutarch left us a description. Many of the noble youths and of the magistrates run up and down through the city naked for sport and laughter, striking those they meet with shaggy thongs. Yeah, it's sounding more and more like spring break in Florida. He goes on. And many women of rank also purposely get in their way and, like children at school, present their hands to be struck, believing that the pregnant will thus be helped in delivery and the barren to pregnancy. So picture this. The women of Rome line the streets and hold their hands out so that the young naked men running past will slap their palms like the starting team low-fiving their teammates as they run out onto the basketball court. I'm not sure what the verb is for that action. Indigo's guess was dude broing. So they go dude broing. No one is exactly sure why these priests are named after wolves. It seems likely that it has to do with the founding myth of Rome, that the abandoned twins Romulus and Remus were suckled by a female wolf and then went on to found the city. Although the festival of Lupercalia predates Rome. By the way, the wolf is the more famous foster parent, but they were also fed by a woodpecker. Both were animals sacred to the god Mars, the war god who was their father. The woodpecker seems to have fallen out of favor. Maybe the Romans thought it was macho to be raised on wolf's milk, but eating the grubs a woodpecker brought was not so impressive. In any case, a day to bless women who are pregnant or want to be, even if this blessing comes in the form of some pretty rowdy behavior, is understandable. Pregnancy was dangerous. Why some couples were more fertile than others was enveloped in mystery, and both were important to people. You can even see why the later Christian authorities might choose that pagan holiday as a good day for their celebration of romantic love. But is that what they did? Probably not. Saint Valentine was a real saint of the church. In fact, possibly two or up to about a dozen. There are literally thousands of saints, and about a dozen of them were named Valentine, Valentina, or some other variation. But The love part came along later. One person named Valentine was a bishop in central Italy, specifically the Bishop of Terni, where there is now a Basilica di San Valentino, and the Bishop of Narnia, where there are talking animals and many magical people. I'm not kidding, there really was a city called Narnia, which, like its neighbor Terni, is about 90 kilometers north of Rome. A young Clive Staples Lewis saw it on a map and thought it would make a grand name for a mythical country. Unless that explanation is also a poetic fiction, which is a possibility. In any case, he must have been looking at a map with Latin labels because in Italian, it's just Narni. They're missing out on a great tourism opportunity. Anyway, this Valentine, this bishop, was killed in the persecutions by the Emperor Claudius II in the 3rd century. And he is the patron saint, not only of lovers, but of beekeepers and people with epilepsy. I love how down to earth and practical the Catholic Church can be. We're not sure what else he did, though, or if he did anything to merit a connection to true love. A doctor and priest, not a bishop, by that name, was also killed in the year 270 or so, along with others who were persecuted by the Roman government. Saints don't have to be martyred, but often they were, and Saint Valentine is no exception. But I was surprised by how he met his end. I was picturing arrows, like the paintings of Saint Sebastian stuck full of arrows that caused his death, but I guess I was just importing the images of Cupid's arrows of love and all those hearts pierced through harmlessly on Valentine's Day cards. Poor Valentine was beheaded. The image of the arrow through the heart conveys how falling in love can be an exquisite shock to the feelings, even if the love story is a happy one. But maybe losing one's head is as good an image of romantic love. Dying for being Christian isn't all that's needed to be made a saint. One needs to have performed a miracle. The one associated with St. Valentine is that when he was in jail, the jailer begged him to cure his daughter of blindness. When the girl saw again, the jailer was so grateful and amazed that he became a Christian on the spot. I hope he was not beheaded for it. The story doesn't say. Okay, but why the connection to love? One story says that against imperial decree, this Saint Valentine used to marry couples so that the husband would be exempt from going to war. That's noble, but not exactly romantic. If it's why the emperor ordered him killed, he died less for his service to love than for his resistance to the draft. In any case, between the death of Valentine and the institution of Valentine's Day as a celebration of love lay about 11 centuries. In the 14th century, Geoffrey Chaucer came along and wrote a book called The Parliament of Fowls. Those of you who collect interesting collective nouns for groups of animals may find this confusing, since a group of owls is called a parliament. There's also another Narnia reference there, since the silver chair includes an actual parliament made up of owls. But this is a parliament of fowls. It tells about a gathering in which birds of many kinds come together to find their mates and have a good argument before settling into nesting. The narrator dreams of traveling here and there and through the Temple of Venus, and finally to this gathering, where, among other things, the birds insult each other, give speeches, and try to win the heart of their chosen mate. Specifically, 3 male eagles all attempt to convince a female eagle to pick them. She doesn't opt for any of them. According to Chaucer, the entire event happens on the feast of Saint Valentine. So, what are we to make of the fact that these eagles all end up without a mate? Maybe that is the true origin of another holiday celebrated today, National Singles Appreciation Day. So, for those who have lost track, so far we have St. Valentine and February 14th as the death day of at least 2 Christian martyrs named Valentine, one of whom is the patron of lovers, which might have been decided in the 14th century after Chaucer wrote a book connecting Valentine's Day with pairing off, although before then the day was about cleansing Rome of disease and conducting rituals of fertility, which included killing goats, turning their skins into strips of hide, and waving them as one ran naked through the streets, as part of the Brotherhood of Wolves. Oh, also Narnia. So, if love is not in the air today, you could make this a day to reread your favorite children's books, or read them for the first time if they're new to you, they're great. Or send words of encouragement to a friend who is trying to conceive or who's expecting a baby. Or howl at the moon and commune with wolves. Or help purge your community of disease. That's on point for this year. Lovers already have their own days of celebration. Most mark their love on an anniversary of their marriage or their first date or the day they met. But there just aren't enough holidays that honor wolves or fertility. And what we really need this year is a celebration of those who help purge our community of disease. So raise a glass of champagne or send a box of chocolates to those who have worked so hard to sequence the novel coronavirus. Create vaccines, test them, refine them, approve them. Those who have tended the sick, developed new treatments, huddled in ambulances with the contagious, delivered vaccines into arms. Let's honor those who visit when families can't, and who take care of the caregivers, such as 2 of our own community ministers, Jen Dillinger and Melissa Thompson at Stanford Hospital and Kaiser Hospital in Redwood City, respectively. Maybe this is a day to drop a line to our own doctors who have worked extra long hours under dangerous conditions, or to send flowers, not to the hospital rooms where they're not allowed, but to the nurses' station. Or better yet, ask them one thing that would improve their working conditions and write to their employers pressing for it. No one has gathered in the streets to applaud them for a long time, but they keep on keeping on because we need them. With most of us still staying home as much as we can, this might not be a great Valentine's Day for the sellers of red roses and the makers of greeting cards. But love takes many forms. And today we can express our love by working for health and helping heal the healers. This week, more than most, has demonstrated how we must create the change we want to see in the world. As I said last week, if this church does not embody and enact what matters most to you, it is failing in its mission. If it does, please support it in every way you can. With our offering, we assert that what we do here matters. And the work of our partners for a better world matters. 1 week per month, your gift goes to the community organization we have chosen together. So today, we are taking up this offering for our justice partner, California Interfaith Power and Light. The order of service gives a QR code and link, and also information on using text to give via Give Lively. Please give generously. We are learning a song that is new to us. I promise you will be humming this pretty tune for the rest of the day, and this is a great time for those of us who aren't fluent in Spanish to try it out because no one can hear us mess up. The pronunciation has challenges even if you know Spanish and are looking at the words, because there are lots of elisions, places you have to blur the vowels together to make it scan. So, before we sing, repeat the lines after me. Revisa tu corazón para hallar el amor en un rincón. Pero busca el amor. Pero busca el amor. Ni placer ni pasión. El amor, lo que hacia otro bien. Then the chorus, busca el amor en ti. Se multiplica si lo repartís. Busca el amor en ti. Solo el que ama, let me say that again, solo el que ama puede ser feliz. Busca el amor en ti. Se multiplica si lo repartís. Busca el amor en ti. Solo el que ama puede ser feliz. Busca el amor en ti, en ti. And the second verse, registra tu camaleón. Cuando cambia el color del corazón y te estalla la flor, un pétalo del sol. el amor, lo que hacia el otro bien. You're on your way. Now, please join in as Bruce leads us in singing Busca el amor.
Revisa tu corazón para hallar el amor en un rincón, pero busca el amor, ni placer ni pasión, el amor, lo que hace al otro bien. Busca el amor en ti, se multiplica si lo repartís. Busca el amor en ti, solo el que ama puede ser feliz. Busca el amor en ti, se multiplica si lo repartís. Busca el amor en ti, solo el que ama puede ser feliz. Busca el amor en ti, en ti. Registra tu camaleón cuando cambia el color del corazón y te estalla la flor, un pétalo del sol, el amor, lo que hace al otro bien. Busca el amor en ti, se multiplica si lo repartís. Busca el amor en ti, solo el que ama puede ser feliz. Busca el amor en ti, se multiplica si lo repartís. Busca el amor en ti, solo el que ama puede ser feliz. Busca el amor en ti, en
In the words of the Reverend Margaret Weiss, the church is not a place, it is a people. The church is not only a steeple above the tree-lined streets and cars, rather it is a people, proclaiming to the world that we are here for the work of healing and of justice. For the church is us, each and every one of us together, a beacon of hope to this world that so sorely needs it. The church has left the building. Let us go forth and be the church.
Forced to bend my soul
bitter circumstance. Alas for me, had I remained beside my lady mother, my virtue had remained unstained until my maidenhead was gained by some grand duke or other. 'Twas not to be. Harsh necessity brought me to this gilded cage. Point to higher things, here I drop my wings. Singing of sorrow, nothing can assuage. And yet, of course, I rather like to revel. I have no strong objection to champagne. My wardrobe is expensive as the devil. Perhaps it is ignoble to complain. Enough of being basely tearful. I'll show my noble stuff by being bright and cheerful. Pearls and ruby rings. How can worldly things take the place of honor lost? Can they compensate for my fallen state? Purchased as they were at such an awful cost. Bracelets, loveliers, can they dry my tears? Can they blind my eyes to shame? Can the brightest brooch shield me from reproach? Can the purest diamond purify my name? And yet, of course, these trinkets are endearing. I'm oh so glad my sapphire's a star. I'm rather like a 20-carat earring. If I'm not pure, at least my jewels are. Enough. I'll take their diamond necklace and show me noble stuff by being gay and reckless. Observe how bravely I conceal the dreadful shame I feel. Liz is such a wonderful actress as well as a wonderful singer. Thank you, Veronica, for choosing such great, appropriate light music for today. Everyone, please stay after the benediction for our virtual coffee time. You will be invited to small group conversations in our breakout rooms, or you can stay here in the main room with me to discuss the service. The rooms will stay open for half an hour. Now, please unmute yourself and turn on your video while we say our benediction together. I'll give you all a few seconds to change your setting. Go out into the world
and
be
Of good courage.
Fast what is good.
Fast what is good.
Turn no
no
one
evil.
and the
And the
faint-hearted,
faint-hearted.
support the weak,
Support the weak.
rejoice in beauty,
Rejoice
love
in
with word
beauty.
and deed,
Love
with all being,
Lovely day.